You know, in the fall, it's just a different ball game. In the summer, you can get these things really dancing, they come up and club it. But in the fall, you know, you're popping it and it's darting, sitting there, and they just get to inspect it. Oh, here comes one. Oh, I missed him. He's coming back. There, he got it. I knew I saw him on it. It's just a matter of getting him to eat it, because you can change your presentation and the cadence of your bait so much by using Panoptix, because of the mood of the fish. Is just, they can be so finicky. You can see there's a nice largemouth right there on a deep diving jerkbait. That fish came right out of the rocks. A particular spot that we're on, but that's a nice, you know, fall largemouth bass right there. Not a big jumbo, but he will do. Using the electronics and my wind and the way the spot lays out, it's really hard to cast it efficiently. So what I'm doing is going on the upwind side of the spot. Like right now, I'm just getting in to the juice and I'm watching my bait, and I'm using the boat and the wind and just drifting right over that spot, pulling this jerkbait and letting it just hover right over the juice of that. And it's just, I'm moving it really slow and we're just drifting. And I can keep an eye on my bait with Panoptix until I can see I'm getting it down into the depth it needs to be. This is a 110+2, so this thing will get down, you know, I'm fishing on 10-pound fluorocarbon, so I'm getting it down pretty close to 15 feet. This combo that I'm using, from the lure, reel, line, rod, everything is pretty much tailored to deep jerkbait fishing, in my opinion. The fluorocarbon, you know, this happens to be a Sufix Advanced fluorocarbon in 10-pound. Now that just helps me get down a little bit deeper. I feel like that thin diameter line cuts the water, allowing the bait to run at, you know, maximum depth. Oh my God, he's coming up. He came up for it. I can't believe that. He came way up for it. That is really, really cool. I pulled that fish about 10 feet off the bottom. He was all sorts of excited about that bait. That was really, really interesting. I didn't think he would come up so high and eat that bait, but you know, you look at these baits, and the thing about fishing them really slow in the fall is that is a pretty bait. You look at that and the paint on it and the color of it. You know, you need to fish a jerkbait slow in the fall. Twitch, twitch, pause, you know, and it's a really methodical way of fishing. I got fortunate to spend a few days in the boat with Randy Blockett and fishing some very, very cold water largemouth, and you know, I learned an incredible amount of information. And the one thing I will say, see, he just smoked it. I have to get a players for that. But I learned an incredible amount of information from Randy Blockett on fishing jerkbaits. The thing that I learned most is when you put one of these baits in front of a bass, you have to give them time. They look at it and they look at it and they decide, and you make the right pop or twitch, and all of a sudden they commit to it. But that's the importance of, you know, getting and finding yourself a good jerkbait that looks convincing. You know, this has a little chartreuse on the tail. And like I said, I mentioned this happens to be a Megabass 110+2, and this gets down exceptionally deep. You get this jerkbait down to depth and you work it over the top of the fish. Now fortunately I have Panoptix and I can see what the fish are doing, and I can gauge their mood on what needs to be done. I can slow it down, I can speed it up. You know, whatever it might take to trigger that fish, I can do with this jerkbait. You know, if I need to let it sit there and just hang, those fish, just the curiosity kills them, and they just have to come up and look at it. And then you give it another pop or two. You know, it's just whatever it does, it's just too much. They can't handle it and they gotta eat it.